Why is the smallest country on earth also the beating heart of a religion 2,000 years old? It has no army worth the name, no economy to speak of, and you could walk across the entire nation in about 15 minutes. Yet it is a country, a real one, recognized by the world, with its own flag, its own passport, and a seat at the United Nations table. To understand how a walled garden in the middle of Rome became a sovereign state, you have to understand that this was not an accident of history. It was the solution to a problem that took 60 years and one of history's strangest deals to solve. Start with the scale, because the scale is almost comical. Vatican City covers just 49 hectares, about a fifth of a square mile, smaller than many city parks. Fewer than 900 people live inside its walls. Its entire army is the Swiss Guard, around 100 men in striped uniforms, the smallest military on the planet, guarding a state you could fit inside a large farm. And yet this speck of a place prints its own stamps, mints its own euro coins, runs its own railway station, its own radio, its own newspaper, and issues passports recognized across the globe. By every measure that defines a nation, it qualifies. The only thing missing is size. So, how did it get here? For that, rewind more than 1,000 years. For most of its history, the Pope was not just a spiritual leader, he was a king. From the 8th century onward, the popes ruled a broad band of territory across central Italy known as the Papal States. Real land with real cities, taxes, courts, and armies. For over 1,000 years, the man in Rome wore two crowns at once, head of the Catholic Church and monarch of a country. Being a spiritual leader and a temporal ruler were, for the Vatican, the same job. Then, in the 19th century, that world collapsed. Italy, for centuries, a patchwork of rival kingdoms, was uniting into a single nation, and the Papal States sat directly in its path. One by one, the Pope's territories were swallowed by the new Kingdom of Italy, and on the 20th of September, 1870, it reached the final prize. Italian troops bombarded the ancient walls of Rome, breaching them at a gate called the Porta Pia, and marched into the city. Rome became the capital of Italy, and Pope Pius IX, who had ruled it as a monarch, lost everything but the palace he was standing in. He was furious, and he did something remarkable. He refused to accept it. Italy offered him a deal, the law of guarantees, promising him honors, protection, and money if he would simply acknowledge the new reality. The Pope rejected it flatly. To accept payment, he believed, would be to admit that a king had the right to seize what belonged to God. Instead, Pius IX declared himself a prisoner in the Vatican and shut himself inside. He would not set foot on Italian soil. Neither would the next pope, nor the next. For 59 years, the popes of Rome lived as voluntary captives in their own palace, refusing to recognize the country that surrounded them. Historians called it simply the Roman question, and for 2 generations it had no answer. Because underneath the standoff lay a genuinely difficult problem. If the Pope was merely a citizen of Italy, then the Italian government controlled the ground beneath the leader of hundreds of millions of Catholics worldwide. A future Italian regime could pressure him, arrest him, or hold him hostage to bend a global faith to national ends. For the Church, the Pope's independence was non-negotiable. He had to answer to no earthly government. But independence, in a world of nation-states, requires one specific thing: sovereign territory, land that belongs to no one else. The Pope did not need a big country. He needed a country at all. The answer finally came in 1929 from an unlikely source. Italy was now ruled by the fascist dictator Benito Mussolini, who wanted the propaganda victory of ending the embarrassing 60-year feud with the Church. On the 11th of February 1929, his government and the Vatican signed the Lateran Treaty. The terms were elegant. Italy would recognize Vatican City as a fully independent sovereign state, those 49 hectares around St. Peter's. In return, the Pope would finally recognize the Kingdom of Italy and its capital in Rome. Italy also paid the Church a vast settlement, around 1.5 billion lire in cash and bonds, compensation for the lands lost in 1870. After 59 years, the prisoner walked free because the prison had become a kingdom. And here is the elegant trick at the center of it all. The Vatican solved the problem of size by separating two things most countries keep together. Vatican City is the physical state, the walls, the gardens, the basilica. But the Holy See is the sovereign entity, the government of the worldwide church, the thing that actually signs treaties, sends ambassadors, and sits as a permanent observer at the United Nations. The territory can be tiny because the territory was never the point. It exists for one reason only: to be a patch of ground on earth that no other government can ever control, so that the man at its center answers to no king, no president, and no parliament. So why is the Vatican a country? Not because it is powerful in the way we usually mean, and certainly not because it is large. It is a country for the oldest reason a border was ever drawn, so that the person inside it could belong to no one else. The smallest nation on earth exists to guarantee the independence of a single man. And after 2,000 years and one improbable treaty, it still does. This was the story of the Vatican, told the Sankofa way. Go back and get it. If it moved you, tell us in the comments whose story we should tell next. Until then, stay upright.